Okay, let's talk about my best friend, index match. This is the function that I teach anybody that is starting with me, anybody that I'm helping, any business that I'm helping. This is the foundation of any analysis, of any spreadsheet work. It's index match, and it is VLOOKUP's much better looking older sister. So let's talk about how this fast function can replace how you are using VLOOKUPs and make your life so much easier. At its core, index match is pulling data from a specific range based on the position of a matching cell's information. So let's talk about practical use here and then a little bit more impractical use in a second too. So first we have this list. You've seen this list before in my other videos. It's a list of all sales in a year for a virtual assistant business. What I need to do is I need to categorize these sales into these 5 categories so that I can break down what segments of my business are bringing in what money. To do this, I could, I could filter this range down and then, go to appointment setting and pick all whatever I have that is phone based and then filter down and then type phone into those columns. Sure. But doing this for each of these 5 segments would take time. So I don't want to do that. The second option is I could do a VLOOKUP based on the 7th column in my sheet, matching this to the 6th column in my sheet. That's fine too, but counting columns is a pain. I will die on that hill. And honestly, I just hate VLOOKUPs because they take time like that. And there's flaws, which I'll point out in a second. So what we are going to do is an index match. So we're going to go to category, column D, and type equals. Where am I typing? There we go. Equals index, open our parentheses. Now we're going to reference the range we want to see here. So remember, index is pulling a range into this column. So I want the category range to pull over here, comma, match. I want whatever I'm pulling to match my product in column B. So I'm going to reference the cell B2, and then I'm going to hit comma, and the column that I want my match key, column B, to be found in. I want it to be found in F because F is related to G. So the column in index and the column in match need to be related to each other. Then I'm going to hit comma and 0, which means exact match. I want it to say exactly appointment setting. Close my match function, close my index function, and hit enter. Now I'm going to control return or command return to autofill here. And now all 365 of my sales have been categorized. And now you can see I have running sums over here. I make the most money, SEO and online. Great. So why is this better than a VLOOKUP? I can do this. I could say, oh, I actually want to add a thing here that says XYZ and blah, blah, blah. I want to add information to this little table that I have as a master list. And oops, look at that. It didn't change what's in category because even though the column moved, it shifted. Now this is column 8 and not 7. It's not referencing the number that the column is sitting at. It's referencing the column itself. So as this moves around, I could move it over here. I could move it wherever I want. As long as this is referencing what I've put in my index match, it doesn't matter. The same thing goes with, you could say, okay, well, if I do a VLOOKUP, there's a little hack that says you can reference the column name, which we can go over in another video because it is handy. But in this, what if you change the column name? What if I want to change this to segment instead of category? I would have to change my whole VLOOKUP, which is fine. It's just one little change. But this index, I don't have to change anything at all. So index match, beautiful. It solves those little problems with VLOOKUP and saves you counting time, because what if you're referencing a column that's in CA? Your columns, it's math, and it's math you don't need to be doing when you could just do an index match. Okay, let's look at the less practical version of index match, which is using a 1 or a -1 in your match statement. So in this case, I have my sales reps from the previous page and the total revenue that they've brought in over the month. I want to pay them a commission, but I'm not paying them a percentage of the revenue. Instead, I'm paying them on this tiered system. for some reason, that's just what we agreed on. So I'm going to type equals index, and then I'm going to reference the commission column, comma, match, open my parentheses, reference the total revenue that they've brought in, comma, match to the revenue column over here. And instead of a 0, because nothing's going to match 18,198 over here, I'm going to type a 1 because I want the largest value that's less than or equal to the number that I'm referencing in my match. So I'm going to close out my index, hit enter. And now if I drag this down here, you can see Matt Swain is at $4,500, which makes sense because he's above 18,000, but not at 19,000. So he's right in between these two, which means this is the closest value that he will get. So he's in that tier. That's the amount he's earned. Now, if we wanted to use the -1, I'll show you here. It's actually just reversed. So you use 1 if it's ascending. So this list is ascending 0 to 21, my tiers. But if I wanted to use a negative, you'll see it breaks it right here. But if I filter this now and put this in descending order, this would bring us to a higher one because it's actually the lowest value that's larger than or equal to the match key. So this one is between these two, so it's the larger value, which doesn't really make sense in this scenario. I've never used -1, if I'm being honest. I always use just 1 or 0, and 99% of the time it's 0, but I do come across these tiered commissions, and this is how you accomplish that. So index match 1 for tiered, and index match 0 for basically everything else. I hope that you actually put this into practice because index match is truly the time saver that we all need in our life. So please, please, please use it. And if you do use it, maybe throw me some DMs of how you did and how it saved you time.